Today, we're going to do a review and tour of my custom-built toy hauler / camping trailer. We'll go over how much it cost, the various design choices, and all the things I did right and wrong. I'm Mondo, and this is Life Under the Sun. Now, there are tons of manufacturers who will gladly sell you a turnkey version at full retail price. So before I pulled the trigger on this project, I took the time to view models from most of the major manufacturers. So this model is built for multi-purpose use, something I can use to haul equipment for work, take camping on the weekends, or as an emergency bug-out vehicle. Having some experience in building, I came away from these tours feeling a bit disappointed, both in the quality and price. These things are basically earthquakes on wheels, so a high amount of maintenance on them is guaranteed, which is why I was surprised that upon inspection, it was clear that most of them are made out of cheap materials, and the joints are glued and stapled, which is certainly not the method that I would use when building something that you know is going to need a lot of repairs. Just take a look at customer reviews and you will see the countless stories of these things breaking apart and dealers taking months to repair them and charging well over $100 per hour. A 3-month repair? That's your whole summer. Plus, I like the ability to be able to redesign the interior or repair broken parts with off-the-shelf materials that I can pick up 7 days a week from a big box store. So once I decided that a custom-built trailer was the best choice for me, that's when the fun of designing it started. Your first decision is going to be the size of the trailer. These trailers typically come in widths of 6 foot, 7 foot, and 8 foot, with there being significant differences beyond the obvious size dimensions. At 7 foot and wider, trailers typically come equipped standard with their own brakes, which means your towing vehicle is going to need a brake controller. Mine didn't have that, so I had to pay an additional $800 to have installed. An 8-foot trailer isn't actually wider as it's driving down the road, but the interior goes over the tires. A downside to going with an 8-foot wide trailer is that it can become difficult to see around it while driving, and you may have to get extenders for your side mirrors. 7 foot wide is a sweet spot for me, as it will allow me to install the beds widthwise, giving me lots of options for designs. Now, if you're going to live in it or not move it very often, then 8 foot is probably the way to go. Lengthwise, I decided to go with 12 feet. This is because that once you add the V-nose and the trailer hookup, it brings the total length to 16 feet, which is the same size as my SUV tow vehicle. This gives the most options for parking. I can't tell you how many friends I have who have bought a camper but never use it or quickly sell it because it's too much of a pain to take out. At 16 foot, I can unhitch it and it will fit perfectly inside a standard parking spot. The next decision is whether to go with 1 or 2 axles. Going with 1 axle has the advantage that it can easily turn around, but 2 axles gives much more safety in case of a tire blowout. That happened to a friend of mine, and he said it was one of the scariest things that ever to happen to him, and he damn near lost control of his vehicle going down the freeway. Now, as far as the type of metal that it's used, you got 2 choices, steel and aluminum. Steel is much heavier, but it's also much cheaper. This is what most of the trailers are made out of. Aluminum, on the other hand, is half the weight and has the added benefit of being much more resistant to rust. I've owned several steel trailers, and within a few years they turned to literal rust buckets going down the road. But the skin on those old aluminum Airstream trailers looks great even after decades. But for some reason, Airstreams only use aluminum for the skin, but they use steel for the frame? I'm not sure if that's a cost savings issue or not, but I do know that aluminum is the most common metal used in aircraft, and the type of forces that are going to be exerted on a trailer going down the road is very similar to what an aircraft undergoes during takeoffs and landings. So if you can afford it, then all aluminum is the way to go. Now, this is where I made one of my first mistakes. I had the outside of the trailer painted. Given time, this paint will fade and crack. I should have just left it raw aluminum. Being all aluminum, this trailer, when empty, only weighs in around 1,200 pounds. I was hoping that this lightweight would lead to a gas savings, but I've been very disappointed in that. My dreams of driving this to Utah or Montana have been crushed, as wind force seems to be the primary cause for poor gas mileage. It would certainly be cheaper to fly there and get a hotel, but having a lighter trailer certainly makes it easier to handle. For the rear of the trailer, you can go with barn doors, a ramp, or have it closed off and installed panoramic windows. I decided to go with a ramp as that can also be used as a deck. I built a canopy that easily deploys giving shade and can be lowered if I ever want privacy. When you work directly with a manufacturer, you can put in as many windows as you would like and have extra options concerning the type of doors you want. I decided to go with an RV style door that has a screen and a latch and keeps it from swinging in the wind and all the bugs out. Money very well spent. But don't neglect, like I did, to have a folding step installed. You also get to decide how much of the work you want to do yourself. They can install a kitchen, a bathroom, and shelves, etc. Or you can, as I did, build those out as you go and as you need. But what I didn't want to do is pay to have something built only to have to tear it apart because I wanted to save 50 bucks. For example, I went ahead and had the manufacturer install the insulation and electrical. The trailer is made with metal studs, so taking apart the plywood walls and trim and trying to put it all back together is a lot more difficult than most people realize. Now this is where I made a few more mistakes. I paid quite a bit of extra money to have the trailer wired for electricity. The trailer can be plugged in and basically run just like a normal home. It has lots of lights and outlets both inside and out, but I have never used any of them. New technology has rendered them unnecessary. They make these new briefcase-sized power sources that are both cheaper, solar powered, and much more convenient. With these little guys, I can run the microwave, cook, charge all my devices, run all the lights for days. Going with a ramp has rendered the insulation basically worthless. I did a temperature check after a cool night, and there was a 1 degree difference between the interior and exterior temperature, and I was with my daughter farting all night long. I decided to go with bunk beds, as they are space efficient and allow for extra storage when traveling. The bottom bunk can be flipped up, providing tons of extra space. One of the things that I hated most about regular RVs is that their beds are almost always crap. I built these beds to accommodate 9-inch high quality memory foam mattresses that I simply ordered from Amazon. This current design allows me to easily add or take out beds as needed. I simply installed some construction grade E-tracks that allow tons of versatility. Stud holders, hangers, anchoring points, you name it. I bought a sink that I can install, but again, one of the advantages of building now as you go is that you find out what you actually need most. This little collapsible sink has proved more than adequate, and my wife loves having this huge counter space. The foldable table is fantastic, probably cost me 50 bucks, and I can easily collapse it out of the way and replace it when I damage it. I originally planned on building custom cabinets, but when I saw this on sale at Home Depot, it was a no-brainer. This only cost 100 bucks. It would have cost me more than that in materials, would have taken me a ton of time, and probably wouldn't be as functional as this. I love the locking feature as it secures the contents when we're going down the road. Cabinets are heavy, and these little baskets are a great alternative. They are light, and I can quickly and cheaply add more if I find that I need more space. I had the manufacturer install a large egress window, and I debated if one would be enough, and it's perfect. It provides a great view between the ceiling fan, the door, and an open window. There is plenty of fresh air. I originally designed the trailer to have enough space for a bathroom, but we haven't needed it. Being in California, we mostly take the trailer to the beach, and because of all the surfers, there is almost always showers and bathrooms. This simple little porta potty has worked like a champ. Again, there are usually bathrooms at the beaches, but if we go to a park, or if those bathrooms at the beach are nasty, which they tend to be, my wife loves having this clean alternative. For the ceiling, I went with fancy wood paneling that I put a nice finish on, but decided to keep the side walls regular plywood. This makes patching and painting them a breeze as I damage them as time goes on. So let's go over the cost of the trailer and each upgrade. The all aluminum 7x12 foot trailer cost $5,185. Adding 12 inches of extra height cost $324, and that was a worthwhile investment, though it does significantly increase the gas cost. The rear ramp door and stabilizing jacks that allow the ramp to be used as a deck, $260. If you're not going to live in the trailer, this was money well spent, and it gets used every time we take it out. Upgrading the radial tires, $64. This safety feature is a no-brainer. 24-inch stone guard, $75. This upgrade paid for itself the first time I took it down a dirt gravel road. Electrical package, $765. If you're going to live in the trailer, then it's worth it. Otherwise, just buy a portable solar generator. Fantastic fan, $230. I don't use this very often, but when we do, it is really nice, so I'm happy with this upgrade. Egress window, $395. The build quality and installation of this window is fantastic. Money very well spent. Like the fan or the door, it's simply not worth it trying to cut holes into the metal skin and metal framework. Making a mistake there can lead to water damage, catastrophic internal damage, and you better be really good at working with metal. 32-inch RV door, $395. Yes, please. But don't forget to have a step stool installed. Insulation, $600. On a cargo trailer, it simply isn't worth it. Stabilizer jacks, $75. Another safety feature that you'd be a fool to not install. Add it all up and the cost of the trailer was $8,500. But that does not include sales tax, registration, or delivery fees. The trailer was produced in Oregon, and I hired a driver to meet me halfway, because I got half lazy, and I run out of ass before I run out of gas. So about $10,000 and the trailer made it home. I spent another $2,000 finishing out the interior. This included high-end lumber, mattresses, microwave, flooring, cabinet, a bunch of miscellaneous hardware, and the solar power generator. So my final thoughts? Supply chains are a real issue, so it took the manufacturer nearly a year to complete the trailer. So if you want a trailer right away, or this is your first time building one out, then probably better off buying a trailer from a local retailer. These things hold their value really well, so you're not going to lose a ton of money when you sell. I have found that my trailer is perfect for weekend camping trips. But if you want to live in it, then go with an 8x16, as the extra 4 feet will give you plenty of room for a bathroom and a proper closet. After a couple years of consistent use, this trailer has brought a ton of joy to me and my family. My wife and daughter absolutely love going in the outdoors adventures with it, and my wife doesn't even like camping. So as the saying goes, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a camper, which is pretty much the same thing.